Welcome to Album Face. This is my channel, and Album Face is creative Christian conversation in short, looking at different media art forms, analysing and reflecting on them from the Christian perspective. So today I'm talking about The King's Speech, the movie with Colin Firth. So I watched it, I think, the latter half of last year. Hadn't seen it before, but I actually do really like Colin Firth because the BBC did a version of Pride and Prejudice that he was Mr. Darcy in, and it was really good. But anyway, sidebar. So The King's Speech is about his speech. He's got a speech impediment, but it's also about a very important speech that he makes at the end of the film, which is addressing the English nation to sort of, I want to say comfort them, but it's the beginning of World War II. So the speech is really important because it's kind of like the king reassuring the country that things are going to be okay. But that's like me jumping to the end of the film. So I did really enjoy the film because visually I wasn't expecting it to be so different cinematically. A lot of period, actually, I was going to say a lot of period dramas. I guess, yeah, they focus more on the drama, and it's not as such a period drama in the sense of it's not about the flamboyant costumes. It really does focus on the characters actually. But in terms of the awkwardness of the way it's filmed, it reflects the awkward personality of the king, and like set design wise as well, like just visually it's just, yeah, it's fantastic. I was gonna go into media jargon, but I don't want to bore you and people won't appreciate it. So obviously, as I said, the king's pretty awkward in personality, but maybe he's not awkward. I think he's very conscious of himself. You know, his speech impediment has left him in situations that everyone around him, like this, there's this scene, I believe it's the opening scene, but I'm not 100% sure, in which he's addressing a stadium full of people and he can't get the words out, and it's just like everybody's just so uncomfortable and he's uncomfortable, and you just kind of like the silence is just gritting. And one of the things that it reminded me largely of is Moses. Obviously, well, I say obviously, but in the Bible there's a story with a big character, Moses. He's a pretty big character, so I'm going to assume that you know who he is, but if not, you know, Google's your friend. But read the Bible's version of Moses. So he also has a speech impediment, and when God's calling him to say, you know, go, I need you to do this, he's sending him on a massive task actually. Funnily enough, he needs him to help deliver the whole like nation of Israel from captivity from the Egyptians. So he is also going to do something pretty big, and he's like, I can't speak, I'm not going to see Pharaoh, like literally my speech is really bad, so I'm not going to do it. And again, in the king's speech, he doesn't want to be the king, but through circumstances, like his brother's not fit and he's involved in some things that he can't be, so he's like, he has to become the king. So God's calling Moses, or God obviously called the king also in the film, and well, in real life actually, because it's a true story, and he's like, you're going to do it. But through Moses' actual doubt, God says, okay, fine, I'm going to bring alongside you Aaron. And in the film we meet a man who trains the king to actually speak, and he works alongside him, and he becomes his friend, and we kind of learn a bit about the personality and the experiences of the king and his vulnerable areas. It's very moving actually, it's very touching, and it makes you think like more about the personality of the monarchy as opposed to the monarchy in like the distance. But in terms of reflecting on Moses and the king and everything like that, one of the things that really came in my mind is sometimes that voice we can hear when we're conscious of ourselves. Like even now, like I'm very conscious of my voice because I've been under the weather, and I'm like, oh, I just sound nasal. But it's like, okay, well, you have something to say, now's the time, just get it out, just say it. Like there's never going to be perfect circumstances. And I sometimes think to myself, and actually, do you know what, I'm not in a sense of criticism, but I do always think if Moses hadn't been so aware of his inhibitions, how would the story have looked? Because later on we see Aaron actually build an idol for the children of Israel to worship. Now, I'm not saying that wouldn't have happened if Aaron hadn't have come alongside Moses and stuff like that, but I think obviously Aaron's position was an elevated position, and maybe God would have done things differently. But Aaron also was the priest and for the nation of Israel, and all these different things that happened. But I was like, being aware of our inhibitions, or not inhibitions, I guess our, what's the word, idiosyncrasies, things that we don't like about ourselves, I think that's something that God will always be aware of, like he knows, but I guess it's refocusing our attention on like who he is in spite of who we are or the things that we're conscious of. I think that's something that in life like is always going to be something we have to address. But I don't know, the way the story went is the way the story went, and praise God the Israelites were delivered, and you know God used Moses absolutely mightily, and you know he had an ally in it through his brother. And similarly in the King's Speech, the man that came alongside him, they worked together and the speech was delivered. It was difficult, but it was absolutely beautiful. And yeah, I guess the journey, the two journeys, or whatever journey we're in, like coming, I guess partnering with God and letting him partner with the right people to help us on our paths is like how we reach, I guess, those momentous moments. So it's 2017 and it's early in the year, so yeah, bring forth your moments and like just put them to God and just lay it all down. And I think I'm going to do that myself, and I'm going to have a drink of water because that's what I need to do. I've been drinking for a long time. And yeah, thank you for watching, and leave a comment, and yeah, subscribe. Bye.